Okay, let's start, guys. Thank you for joining us today once again. My name is Alex. I'm representative of EasyMM team, and today we have AMA session with the project called Meter.io and its founder, Xiaohan. And today also one of the speaker is our chief at EasyMM, Daniel. Hey, guys.
Hey,
Hi,
hey.
everyone. Yeah. Hi, Alex. Thanks a lot for the invitation.
Thank you for joining us today. It's a pleasure to have you.
Same here.
Okay.
Yeah. Great to share about Meter with the EasyMM community.
Yeah, definitely. Uh, I will ask you several questions if you don't mind regarding of the project. Yeah, please, can you just give us briefly the idea, the purpose of creating the Meter.io project?
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Xiaohan Zhu, one of the co-founders for Meter.io. We started the project back in 2018. Initially, we set out as a Meta stablecoin to complete Satoshi's original vision of sound money independent of the fiat system. Um, However, once we start working on the project, we quickly realized we have to tinker the consensus layer. So we ended up to create a new blockchain, a EVM compatible blockchain that's using the state of the art consensus protocol called Hot Stuff 2. Um, right now, the network is live. It has more than 320 consensus nodes from the community, um, Ethereum compatible, and also have some unique features like front running resistant, and also the stable coin I mentioned initially, um, basically a proof of work based stable coin that has long term economic equilibrium. Yeah, so that's the story when about the project, and yeah, we've been working on that. The mainnet has launched for the last 3 years. Right now, our focus is more growing the ecosystem and growing the user base. And we have a lot of other things that we're working on. For example, bring up Bitcoin connections to provide an L2 solution for Bitcoin. And also, our consensus engine can be shared among different projects and providing robust infrastructure or like robust code base for a lot of layer one and layer two projects that try to be decentralized. For example, recently we've been talking with Cosmos to use our consensus engine as an alternative for the existing Cosmos Comet BFT, which is already kind of 9 years old already. Yeah. So yeah, that's about Meter on a high level.
Thank you for this answer. It was really detailed, and maybe let us give Daniel some time for some words. Daniel, are you with us?
Yeah, sure. First of all, I would like to welcome everyone again. And also, I would like to remind that we have a fascinating giveaway today. So we will give 100 meter tokens today for 5 lucky winners. But don't forget to follow EasyMM, follow Meta ecosystem, and be here. So this free tasks for you guys, and someone can be a bit richer today. So yes, once again, and yeah, I really glad to hear about Meter project, and I have one question. Like, there are a lot of layer one solutions. So, what is the idea, and what differentiate you from others?
Yeah. So I think when we started the Meter, initial goal was to create like independent sound money independent of the fiat system. So we put the decentralization at like one of the highest priority, and the other one is obviously performance. So like with the new consensus protocol we put in, we basically is probably the best trade-off between decentralization and performance in the entire uh, like blockchain space. So right now we have like more than 320 consensus nodes, and actually scalable to like tens of thousands. And we can process thousands of transactions per second. It's actually only limited by the Ethereum virtual machines scalability. Um, so that's on the decentralization versus performance side. And also, we took a very unique uh, basic stance regarding to fairness. For example, if you look at Ethereum today, there is something called MEV or front running. So if you trade in DeFi protocols or DEXs, you're probably aware of this. So when you place a big trade, a bot or someone else may try to front your transaction and make a profit of it. So this is obviously illegal in centralized, in traditional stock exchanges, for example. If you do that, you go to jail. But to people's surprise, these type of behavior is actually encouraged in the DeFi space, in the Ethereum like ecosystem, which we don't believe is fair for the users. And we actually put in special designs um, in the meter blockchain. So even we are still Ethereum compatible, supporting all the DeFi applications, we're front running resistance. So meaning like you won't have to concern about people try to take advantage of your transaction when you trade on the meter blockchain. And finally, we have that Meta stable token we promised to deliver like when we started. So it's created by proof of work, have a long-term stable economic equilibrium. So we are using this currency as the gas token in the meter blockchain. So it ensures your transaction fees are not only low, but also stable over time. So I think that's one of the few unique things about meter.
Yeah, sounds really interesting, especially with gas fees idea. And also, you mentioned a lot decentralization. So here, I would like to know what are the key benefits of using MTRG coin, and is it some kind of governance, and also how can people contribute to growth and sustainability of your ecosystem?
Yeah, so Meter actually have two tokens. The first one is the Meta stablecoin I mentioned. It's called MTR. So we use it as a gas in the system. Uh, the circulation is completely decided by economics. If there are more users in the blockchain needing more gas, it will be created by the miner. If no additional uh, gas is needed, then the miner will like stop mining and will just using existing circulations. Um, we have another really important token that's probably is more focused on the trading and investment side. Is our governance token called MTRG. So this token is actually used to secure the network. So Meter have a hybrid consensus. Uh, we use a proof of stake to secure the ledger and create the high performance system. The proof of work is only used to create the Meta stablecoin. So MTRG is that staking token for proof of stake. So basically, it means you can use the MTRG, stake the MTRG to create the validators in the network. And if you don't know how to start validator, you can, for example, delegate your MTRG, stake it and delegate it to other people. and also we right now have liquid staking. We have or also leverage the liquid staking if you use some of the lending protocols in the ecosystem. So in order to contribute to the Meter ecosystem, obviously MTRG is the most important token. So yeah, so on the high level, you can stake it, you can run validator, you can participate using, in our DeFi applications created by community. There's a bunch of them already, including like DEXs, perp trading, lending, borrowing, synthetic assets. Yeah, you name it.
Okay, I see. That's really interesting concept when you combine two uh, proof models, which are really have proven record. And we know Bitcoin with proof of work, we know Ethereum, which was on proof of work and now in proof of stake. And you combine these two ideas in one concept. That's really interesting. And also, creating L1 blockchain is not only about just create it; it's more about ecosystem. Do you know, and maybe can you share with us some examples of successful projects or use cases that were built on Matter ecosystem, and also maybe some examples of real world use, because now we see that there is a real trend of RWA tokenization and implementing blockchain in some real businesses, real life. So can you share with us some successful cases?
Yeah, so our blockchain have like several. The ecosystem had consists of like multiple categories of applications. For example, DeFi applications. You can go to like Symmetrics for it's a balancer fork. VoltSwap is like VE33 solidly VE33 fork. Lending borrowing there's a Meridian Land, there's Sumer Money. Perp trading there's a Tigris trade, and I believe the Meridian guys is launching perp trading DEX soon as well. On the gaming side, there's a very active developer called Business Builder. So they have been building like some really awesome 3D MMA type of games. There's also other like play to earn type of games like Dragon Master, Crypto Blade. Um, and there are other applications like NFT tradings. Like there are various collections created on the Meter blockchain as well. In terms of RWA, I think we're still at the early stage. We've been talking about with several like RWA partners about issuing on the Meter blockchain. But I think the RWA space, for example, right now is more like focusing on creating like a stable coin that can get yield with the U.S. Treasuries, or like tokens representing like gold, silver, those are commodities, and issuing them on the blockchain. It's more about the issuance, and a lot of the issuer, the liquidity for them is actually still pretty low, even on the Ethereum mainnet. So we're still like discussing and try to monitor which RWA project is more like reliable in terms of methodology, because essentially for RWA project, the issuer is taking custody of your funds. So there's a lot of security and custodian concerns there as well. So we are really careful about like choosing which partners to work with. And right now, I would say is still like in the exploration phase.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think there are a lot of things projects need to solve before real world asset tokenization will be mass adoption, will have mass adoption. But I also would like to know, so You mentioned some really interesting cases, how people use your ecosystem. Do you have any kind of incentive program for developers, and how you foster
Yeah.
your
So
develop
yeah,
community?
I guess the question is about what kind of incentive programs we have for the developer community. Yeah. So right now we have a grant program. It's and also have a TVL incentive program. So the TVL incentive program is more like targeted towards like DeFi type of applications. So we provide a token grant to projects on a monthly basis to projects based on the TVL and the type of TVL they have. The annualized um, incentive um, basically is around 7.5 to 10%, I believe, to these projects based on the TVL in the protocol. And the developer can use the incentive to attract users, such basically retain the users on the application, or even extend the runway for the team themselves. Um, and our grant program is basically, obviously, when you start the project on the Meter blockchain, you are facing the issue of how to cold start the project. So we have some initial like user growth grant. We can help you to attract the initial user base. There's also depends on application. There may be some deployment grant as well. So basically, we're trying to work with project on various phases, both at the starting, launching, and also growing and retaining the user, different phase to help the developer to be successful on the blockchain.
Okay, that's great to know that you support some developers. And do you have maybe some kind of hub in any country, like in the US or maybe in some developing countries? Do you think about that or not?
Uh, are you talking about the physical hubs? Right now, we don't really have a physical hub because the team is decentralized. But like our user base, I think is also pretty decentralized. There are people in Europe, North America, uh, or Asia. I mean, yeah, I think it's pretty spread out. We host virtual hackathons from time to time. For example, right now we have one hackathon uh, currently going on with the Builder Box team. They are originally the Gitcoin team, the hackathon team for Gitcoin. So this is an ongoing hackathon that will end, I believe, the end of June. So there's $25,000 worth of MTRG allocated as incentives or prizes for the hackathon winners, and also there will be additional growth grant and TVL grant for users. I mean, for developers that launching a meter from these hackathons. So yeah, so that's what we're trying to scale on the developer front.
Thank you for covering this question. And I don't know if you guys feel the enormous amount of work that have been done here with Meta project. I'm quite impressed, and I'd like to ask your next question. Please, can you elaborate if you had any challenges? Of course you had, but can you just give us an examples of what you had and what was the problems you faced when you were building the project?
Yeah, I mean, the challenge is obviously right now, the crypto space is very noisy. Uh, you have to fight with other projects on attentions. And we've been, I mean, as a project that launch, I mean, when we launch we didn't immediately launch on the biggest exchange. So that's obviously introduces some like challenges in attracting users and traders and volumes. And I think that's a problem we're continuously trying to improve, and also trying to help the user to get easier on board and on ramp and off ramp for the blockchain. For example, we worked with multiple bridge providers and also like help providers that can help the user to get the initial gas. And yeah, I think moving forward, I think one of the most important thing is to build a community that's basically a core community that believe in the project and want to see the project successful, and like create great communication among the community and trust among the community to bring the project to the next phase.
Yes, thank you for covering this question also, and I guess we can move to our next part, and it's a community part. We chose some questions from the community who asked us these questions during the last week. And the first questions, of course, some of them might repeat, and you may have already answered some of them, but let maybe cover it once again. So our first question is, when comparing Meter to other L1 blockchains, what are the key considerations for developers looking to build the app?
Yeah, if the question is more about how for developers, I think the developers first need to look at, for example, what kind of programming language the blockchain support, whether they can leverage existing like code from other projects or like a well vetted project that has proven security in the space. The other thing is like how well the infrastructure is provided on the blockchain. For example, is it secured by a lot of people from the community? I mean, people, I mean like a validator nodes, or is just one single server running all the transactions? So different things may provide a different level of security to the users. And obviously there's speed and the speed and the cost issue for running the transactions. I think we're doing pretty well on that front. I mean, like transactions meters are like finalized within seconds. And when I mean finalized, that means I mean, for example, on Ethereum blockchain, there are more maybe forks happening. So your transactions not finalized until maybe like 10, 15 minutes. But on Meter blockchain is immediate. Everything in the blockchain is fully confirmed. And we can handle thousands of transactions per second with very low transaction cost, low and stable transaction cost. And in terms of infrastructure, we provide everything developer needs. For example, multi-sig graph nodes, bridges, and verified smart contract explorers, things like that. Yeah.
Yes, as I told you before, I'm really impressed with the amount of work you've done here, and we are so glad to have you as our partner. And by the way, we have such an activity with our listeners today. Maybe we can give some time to let them ask the question directly. Do you mind this?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay. The first one here will be Skylar. Are you with us, Skylar? Can you ask the question you wanted to ask.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. So my question is uh, uh, is there any audit done? How secure and safe protocol you have?
Yeah, so there's different type of audit, I think, important for the users. Uh, First, I mean, the layer one blockchain itself is audited. Yes, we are audited like yeah, several times in the past. But I think when you interact with the applications on the blockchain, you should always be interested in whether the applications are audited. So in that case, you have to check the application on a case-by-case basis. All the applications we developed on the blockchain are audited. And also, like when we give grant to like any DeFi applications, we make sure they are audited as well. To make sure their applications are safe for the users to use. Um, yeah, but still, I think depending on which applications you are interacting with, you need to check it on a case-by-case basis.
Okay, that's great. Thank you so much. Very informative here.
Okay, our next listener who can ask her question is Alexa. Alexa, are you with us?
Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. My question is, what are your marketing strategies and how do you plan on implementing global adoption? Thank you.
Yeah, I think this question is very general. So, like, I mean, I have our CMO who could probably best answer this question. But as I mentioned earlier, I think the focus is to build a community that has trust and loyal and believe in the project and philosophy. Um, so to build that tight community to make sure the project can success. And the community obviously should be global. Right now, for example, our community is very globalized, and if you look at the people who like interacts with our social media, I mean, they are from a very wide space, including like North America, Europe, Asia. Yeah.
All
Thank
right.
you.
I guess we can move to the next listener. It's Tokyo. Tokyo, please go ahead.
I think she's muted.
Hello, hello, Mr. Yeah, so how
Yeah,
you
we can
doing?
hear you.
Yeah, I just want to know, in terms of an ambassadors program, do you have an ambassadors program users could participate in?
Currently, we don't have an explicit ambassador program, but we have communities in different languages, and there are like sort of ambassador who help, for example, translating contents and like coordinate those different language Telegram groups. But we're definitely looking at the various design of the ambassador programs to make sure uh, we can leverage the community.
Fair response.
All right, and the next one gonna be Hanabi.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we can
go
hear you.
ahead.
Yeah.
Actually, my question is, what's Meta.io plan to attract more developer on your blockchain? And currently, do you running any grant program for developers?
Yeah, I think I mentioned this earlier. We have a grant program for developers. It consists of a TVL grant, which gives 7.5 to 10% annualized incentive for applications that have TVLs. There's also like a user growth grant for helping applications to start on the network, and also depends on the application. There may be some deployment grant as well.
Okay, all right.
And I guess we have a little time for 2-3 more questions. And the next one will be from Rosie. Rosie, can you go ahead? Rosie, are you with us?
Hi. Hi.
Yes, Rosie, please
Please
go ahead.
go ahead. My question: how can we become a validator?
Sorry, how you could become what? Could you repeat the question? Alex, did you
You
hear her
hear her
question?
question?
No, I don't
I
hear.
don't hear.
Can you speak
Can you
up?
speak up? My question: how can we become a validator?
Oh, you can become a validator. Yeah, so as long as you have 2,000 MTRG token, so based on the current market price is maybe like 2,200 or 2,300, you can start a validator node. And right now we have like an incentive program. So if you start a validator, the Meter Foundation will delegate 22,500 MTRG tokens to your node, meaning you can earn a commission from the staking rewards of those tokens. That gives you about like 20% APR based on the on your like a staked MTRG token.
Okay, thank you.
Sounds pretty reasonable to me, doesn't it? So let's move on, and the next listener who will ask his question is Jackson. Jackson, can you go ahead?
Yes.
All right, thank you so much for the wonderful opportunity. Okay, I would like to ask, what are the security measures in place to protect Meta's network from attacks and ensure the integration of its data? Thank you.
Sorry, could you repeat your question? I didn't really like hear it clearly.
Okay, I said, what are the security measures in place to protect Meta's network from attacks and ensure the integrity of its data? Thank you.
Uh, if you're talking about data protection, I think that's how the blockchain is designed. So basically, every validator node in the Meter network has full replications of all the data. So that means that if there are more nodes or validators running the network, your data integrity level or protection level will be higher. So right now we have 320 validators. They're all from the community. We are only running like 3 validators ourselves, so the rest are all from the community, which ensures is enough decentralization and protection for your data and transactions. And obviously, on the application level, the applications need to be like audited and secure as well. That need to be checked on a case by case basis, as I mentioned earlier.
All right, 2 more questions from the audience, and the next goes, let me check. It's River X. Can you go ahead, please?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, so my question is, how do you plan to retain long-term investors, and what are the benefits of retaining them? Are you planning to move to another blockchain in the future or launch your mainnet? That's my question.
Uh, First, the project is already fully launched since we are a layer one blockchain, so we don't have to migrate to other blockchains. We will build more connections to other blockchains through bridges. For example, we have a Bitcoin secure decentralized Bitcoin bridge that supports like Bitcoin, BRC20, and other ordinals. That's in the making. Um, and Sorry, what was the early question again? Uh, Alex, do you remember his earlier question?
Sorry, I
He asked,
was.
yeah, he asked how do you plan to retain
Oh,
investors?
retain investors. Yeah. So we have the staking program. Basically, like if you run a validator, you can get additional delegations from the foundation. Give you about like 20% APR. You can also like stake your MTRG token to other validators. That gives you around 9 to 10% APR. There's also like DeFi applications that you can leverage in the ecosystem. And allow you to get liquid staking, leverage liquid staking. So that can give you, I think, 15 to 20% APR as well. So yeah, various schemes that can help the token holders to get yield.
All right, and
Yeah,
when
thanks for the answer. I have another questions. Can I
Yeah,
ask?
go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So, uh, how can I buy and sell MTRG tokens in the market to raise capital for your project?
Yeah, so right now, MTRG tokens are listed on uh, KuCoin, Gate.io, and MEXC. Also, it's traded on various DEXs. For example, if you use BSC, it's traded on Pancake Swap. It's a bridged version to like BSC. And if you come to the Meter mainnet, there are various uh, DEXs as well, like Volswap, Symmetrics. If you're using base blockchain, it's also eMTRG is traded on Airdrop.
And by the way, it's looked like a good opportunity to buy right now because the price is rebounding and price level now is very interesting to buy.
I hope Daniel will not be killed in a kindergarten. All right, and we move into our last question from the audience, and it's gonna be GR with a board ape. Please go ahead.
All right, yeah. Thank you so much. So my question to the team is about with the chain. Is it NFT compatible? Then also, has any bug bounty or hackathon been done to ascertain the security or to ascertain the if there's any vulnerability in the meta chain?
Yeah, so the blockchain is like Ethereum compatible. So that means like it inherits all the security designed into the EVM itself. In terms of like bug bounties, and other platforms. We work with several bug bounty platform, like for example, Hats Finance, Bug Wrap. So there are things over there, like you can submit bugs to the platforms, um, and uh, and also the applications on the platforms as well. And obviously, like you can always reach out directly to the teams regarding to any issues you find.
All right. Yeah. Thank you so much. Success to the team.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys, for your questions. And we are moving to the very last ones, 2 questions that we collected before during this week. Yeah, next question goes from Mike, and he asks, how will established L1 blockchains like Ethereum adapt and compete with newer, more scalable L1s and Layer 2 solutions?
I guess the question is more like about the competition in the space in general. Yeah, right now there's a trend is like everything is every project is trying to launch its own chain with the Ethereum L2 type of solution. I think one of the things that's important is what are the unique things you bring to the table. I think a lot of L2s are just playing different games of attracting, bootstrapping liquidity so they can get listed on exchanges, things like that. But the token itself, it's very similar to, I think during the early days of DeFi, there are like DEX tokens that just used to attract liquidity in the beginning. So the L2s are playing the same game, except those tokens are basically not really useful in any sense in the blockchain. So I don't think that trend will last a long time. Right now, we already see people looking back to like unique L1s instead of like L2s. But I think in general, it's still like what are the unique contributions you can make to the community and the industry, and also the token holders, of course.
All right, and I guess the next and the last one question will conclude our conversation in a good way. And Bill asks you, what are the most innovative features of Layer 1 blockchains that you believe will drive mainstream mass adoption of blockchain technology?
I think right now, like how to drive mass adoption is still like a big question for the entire industry. With the Bitcoin ETF and also maybe like Ethereum ETF in the near future, I think that will attract a lot of new users into the space and start exploring cryptocurrencies. But I think at core, all the proven successful case for blockchain is still finance related. Basically, anything related to asset tokenization, trading of these assets, and basically how to make use of these assets are still going to be the main theme driving the space forward. I think that may be already enough. This because blockchain is more costly. Their decentralized system is gonna be always more costly than centralized system. So that cost basically should bring like fairness, censorship resistance, and other benefit to the user to attract the users and fundings. And finance, decentralized finance is obviously a very important thing that really attracts the users. And I believe that still going to be like the thesis moving forward that eventually will create massive adoption.
Thank you, Xiaohan, for these very detailed answers. We appreciate your time here. And
Thanks a lot for. Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, can you tell us maybe one question that you liked the most from this? Maybe any questions that you remember and you liked it very much?
I think I like Daniel's original questions, like what are the unique things about meter, right? I think that's a great question. But
Yeah, thank you. But yeah, we need to pick up some questions from the community.
from the community, I think yeah, maybe let me see. The developer incentives question. I forgot who asked that question. Yeah.
Yeah, we will just find out later after the EMA session, and those who questions will be rewarded, we will connect with you. No worries afterwards. And yeah, thank you everyone for joining us today. Thank you, Xiaohan. Thank you, Daniel. It was a pleasure to have you here. It was a really nice topic, and hope everyone has some new knowledge from today's AMA session. Looking forward to a new one, and see you soon.
Yeah, thanks a lot for Alex and Daniel for hosting the AMA, and thank you everyone for your time to listen to the AMA and asking all the great questions.
Yeah, thank you guys. It was a pleasure to talk today with you, Xiaohan. And yeah, let's keep it at the traditional. Maybe we can catch up again in a couple of months and discuss what are the next few big things you did in your blockchain and ecosystem. So thanks again and see you guys. Bye-bye.
Yeah, have a nice weekend. Bye.